Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Eli coming at you, and I'm coming at you with the Week 1 NFL predictions. Yes, Big D for Life has done this, and I am copying him. I told him as much, and I thought maybe we could do a little head-to-head competition. You know, to see who could pick the winners of the NFL the best. I'm not really sure I remember what his predictions were or not, but hey, you know, these are my predictions. So we'll look at it after the fact. I'll see how many I got right. He'll see how many he got right, and we can come back at it. All right. I'm going to start off with the Patriots and Chiefs game. As we all know, that happened on Thursday night, and if you watched that game at all, you were thrilled. If you were an anti-New England individual like myself, and you hated it if you were a Patriots fan. The Patriots did not look good at all. Tom Brady did not look good at all. Throwing for 44% that's Brock Osweiler territory, really. I mean, come on. Brock Osweiler can throw 44% for you. So there may be some sort of issue with there. Maybe Edelman meant more to Tom Brady's success than anyone wants to admit. There went my phone. Oh no, it fell down. That gives me a time to take a drink while I drive. Yes, I drink and drive, but only sodas. All right. So, in that game, I would not have picked the Chiefs to win. I would have picked the Patriots. So, I'm 0-1 to start off with. But I tell you what, I did love the game. And as a side note, Kareem Hunt went off, and his prices have skyrocketed. Just for giggles, I went to see if there was any auctions out there, and he had RPAs going that were numbered to $4.99, going for $70 and more. 2 weeks ago, you could have got an RPA numbered to 50 for $22. So, yeah, this is not the time to try to buy Kareem Hunt or to try to buy into Kansas City breaks, because I doubt Kansas City breaks. I looked at some parallel breaks, and Kansas City was going for over $70 and a half case parallel break. I got into Colts for I think it was $12 for a half case. Yep. So if Marlon Mack goes off, I won't be able to do that anymore either. But I don't think Marlon Mack's going off anytime soon, though he will look good. He will have his times to shine. Anyways, moving on, I've got Jets, Bills. Jets, boy, I'm sorry, but there's no way I can pick the Jets in this game. The Bills, they're in a rebuilding mode themselves, but they're not as low as the Jets are, sorry to say. I think this will be one of those games where the running games take over. I think Bilal Powell is a really good running back, and I think he will do well in this game. And we know shady is shady, right? So there you go with that. Eagles at Redskins. Now this one's an interesting one, because you got the Redskins at home, who aren't terrible, and the Eagles, who are okay. So it's one of those toss-up games. And if I'm going to go with the home team here, I'm going to go with the Redskins pulling one out against the Eagles, mainly because I think Kirk Cousins has something to prove to people. There we go. Every time I have to stop and start again, we're going to have that problem. Anyways, I think he has something to prove. And at home, I think he does it. First game, there's going to be some offensive scheming that you just won't see probably for the rest of the year. So I'll have to go with the Redskins on that one. Next, we do have the Raiders at the Titans. Now, people have this game as a Titans winning in a landslide, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if people remember or not, but the Raiders were on their way to the AFC Championship before Derek Carr went down. I think people lose sight on things, and they look at the nice new shiny Titans, Mariota with all his weapons, all of his new weapons, some of which aren't even going to be on the field. Here we go again. We're just going to play drop from here on out. Anyways, it's hard for me to pick against the Titans, though. They are at home. The Raiders have to go from the West Coast to the East side. So I will go with the Titans winning that one. Though, people, I think, are sleeping on the Raiders, and I don't know why. Why are you sleeping on the Raiders? All right. We have the Jaguars at the Texans. AFC South foes going against each other at the beginning of the year. Now, everyone's touting Jacksonville as the new darling because, well, they've won the offseason. Once again, they have signed all the good free agents and paid them lots of money on one-year deals to turn their team around. And every year they do that, and every year they end up in last place in one of the worst divisions in football. Though I'd have to say, sadly, the AFC East may have overtaken the AFC South as the worst division. I know they got the Patriots up top, but everybody else is kind of, well, you know, So, I don't buy into the Jaguars being any better, and the Texans are going to be the Texans. They're going to play good defense. They're going to have an iffy offense, and they can pull this one out. So I'm going to go with the Texans on this one. Next, Cardinals traveling to play the Lions. Now, another interesting game because you got a good defense in the Cardinals, and they have a really good offense too. Though people, for some reason, think that, you know, Carson Palmer is no good, but he's got weapons. And with weapons comes ability, and he's smart, and he can dump it off to one of the best running backs in the league. So you got that going for you. Now, will the Vikings be able to, will the Lions be able to hold back the Cardinals and do something about it? I don't think so. The Lions' defense is not good. The offense might be able to keep up with them a little bit. I do like Matt Stafford. I think Amir Abdullah is going to be, if he can stay healthy, he's going to put in a performance that's going to kind of surprise people this year. Or maybe not surprise, but actually live up to expectations. One of the two. You take your pick. But I'm going to go with the Cardinals here. I think they'll just be able to overpower the Lions. Steelers at Browns. The Browns are the Browns. Let's just leave it at that. Steelers probably easily in this one. Falcons at Bears. Again, we have the Bears, who are not very good. They have a good offensive line. They've got a good running back. They might be able to control the clock in this one and keep the Falcons off the field. Now, the Falcons had a much improved defense last year, but I'm thinking that, I'm not thinking that it's going to keep up this year. This is going to be a close one, but I think the Falcons win this one, and it's not going to be as high scoring as people think. I'm probably wrong, but that's just my thought. Ravens at Bengals. Again, people are sleeping on the Bengals again. Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. Last year in fantasy, while he was healthy, he was a top 10, if not top 5 quarterback. But what do people see? They see him not being at the top of the list at the end of the year. He finished as this, well, he only played so many games. But then again, if you can't stay healthy, he's not good for you in fantasy or as a starting quarterback for you. So you do have the Ravens, which I think is kind of a messy situation. I'm not sure about their offensive line. Who's really running the ball there? Terrence West is your starter? Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to have to go with the Bengals in this one, only because I think their offense is better. Even their defense without Burfict can do some stuff. And you talk about a man that scares people. That's what Burfict does. And then he lives up to that scary type of look, doesn't he? Lives up to that. Anyways, moving on. Oh my gosh, I'm making this way too long here. We have Colts at Rams. Colts with the Scott Tolzien experience. Yeah, this is some experience. They had so much faith in Scott Tolzien and the backup quarterback that we had, Scott Morris, that they went and traded for Jacoby Brissett. which means one or two things. They're going, okay, we need somebody long-term as a good backup that's not named Scott Tolzien, or we need a guy who might be able to put a little spark into this in weeks 2, 3, and 4 while Andrew Luck continues to rehab himself. My Colts going out to the Rams. Now, Aaron Donald reported today, but does that mean he plays? If he doesn't play, the Colts have a chance. If he plays, they may not have a chance. I don't know. I'm going to go with my heart rather than my brain. I'm going to pick the Colts. Going way too long on this. Panthers and 49ers. 49ers are going to surprise people, and they are going to beat the Panthers, mainly because they're going to come out and do things, and Hoyer is a quarterback. Plain and simple. Just watch it. You're going to be amazed that they're doing what they're doing. I picked the 49ers winning that one. Seahawks at Green Bay. I don't think the Seahawks defense is as good as it used to be. I think Green Bay is as good as they've always been. I'm going to go with the Packers on that. The Giants at the Cowboys. Whoo! Sunday night football, starting off with Giants and Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott is back, baby, and back for probably the entire season. Now, if you slept on him in fantasy and you did not get him in the second or third round while everybody was going, I'm not touching him, you made a mistake. If you took him in the first round like I did, thinking someone was going to do it, you probably made a mistake because you probably could have got him in the second round. But I have him on a lot of my teams, paired up with the likes of David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell. So when you have David Johnson and Ezekiel Elliott on your fantasy team, you're smiling. This is me smiling. I'm happy. And this one, I think, without some of the good defensive linemen that got away, one of which went to the Colts, I think the Giants are not as good a defensive team, and the Cowboys will run the ball down the Giants' throat all game long. Dink and dunk, score a lot of points. Cowboys win this one. Saints at Vikings. All right, well, Saints have an offense. Adrian Peterson is going back to Minnesota. Do you think he got a chip on his shoulder? I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think the Saints and Adrian Peterson walk into the Vikings and put down a beating on the poor Minnesota Vikings there. I just hope Adrian goes in and lights it up, because that would be great to watch. All right, the late Monday night game. You have the Chargers versus the Broncos. Now, is the Broncos defense as good as everyone says it is? Are the Chargers revamped and looking as good as always? Is Keenan Allen going to stay healthy? Is Melvin Gordon going to be the running back that he's supposed to be? Will the Broncos ever have a quarterback that they can actually believe in? I mean, if you bring back Brock Osweiler after he's been on tour and nobody wants him, and you think you're happy to have him, what does that say about Simeon? Paxton Lynch. They brought in Brock Osweiler to replace you. Dag, that's gotta hurt. Anyways, I think Broncos at home, their defense will just do something to win this game. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I don't think the Broncos have enough offense. I say the Chargers win this one. And with that, we say goodbye. And Faith Family Football, those are my picks. Read them and weep. Doesn't matter. I've been on record. Peace.